Hello, and welcome to Roly Poly Weight Loss. I'm your host, Roly Poly. Welcome to day 12. Let's get this going. Okay, warm up. So, since we are doing these 3 days a week, day 12 is the last day of week 4. That means that at the end of today, we will have been doing this for 1 month. Yay! Yes, 1 whole month. We have done it, or we will have in 24 minutes. So, I want you to think back to the first day you started exercising with me. How long ago does that seem? Has the time flown by? Are you completely blown away that a month has ended already? Or has it been a struggle each and every day? And week and month, but a month has passed. Either way, share your story with the hashtag first month. Tell me how it went. I want to know. So, that said, on to today's topic, which is relevant. Speaking of hitting our 1 month point, let's talk about progress. So, I have talked before about the importance of weighing and how you should also have non-scale victories. On bodybuilding.com, registered dietitian Paul Salter said this: "The thing about weight is that it's really just one piece of the progress puzzle. It's not the piece. Exercise performance, appearance, measurements, energy level, body fat percentage, all of these things indicate important changes, but you can't measure them as readily as weight." And then he asks these questions. Have you found a routine that works for you? Do you feel like you're in control of your situation? Is your nutrition humming along, or is it a raging tire fire? Are you pushing yourself adequately, but also recovering adequately? These things are far more important than a single number. Okay. Let's get going. So, today, we're going to talk about some of those other metrics for assessing your progress. So, here is the list of things you can look at that he suggested instead of just weight. Your appearance, your measurements, your energy level / stamina, your exercise performance, your routine, feeling of control, pushing yourself adequately / recovering adequately, nutrition status, the fit of your clothes, and your body fat percentage. So that's 10 things other than your weight that we can look at. Today we're going to look at all of them because that is a lot more than I thought about. I thought about some, but then when I did this research I went, oh yeah, there are a lot more than I thought about. So number 1, appearance. So that's like videos and photos. So back at the beginning, I took a video of myself showing all of my chub. I stood here in just my bra and my shorts, and I showed off all my jiggle. And I have stills from that. So I have pictures of myself that I can compare to as I get less. I'm using this for appearance. And you all should take photos or videos too. I know it's hard because you don't want to have a reminder of yourself at this weight. I know I never like having pictures taken of me when I'm big, and especially one without your big baggy concealing clothes, you know, putting on that sports bra and shorts, or for guys, just the shorts. But it can be a really good way to track your changes. You can always take a mirror selfie, lots of people do, but you can also get a better shot with a helper or using a timer and setting your phone or your computer at a distance and getting a good head-to-toe photo like I did. So get those befores. You don't have to share them, although you can. Use the hashtag before together. Share your photos and videos, but at least take them for yourself. Okay? So now, measurements. I also shared these, and I'll show them here. I intend to do these once a month, so I'm not obsessing, but hopefully I'll see some progress by the 6-month mark. And I'll actually post that update on Monday when I do my weigh-in, because we are a month in. Yay! So I don't expect my measurements to change too much just yet at my 1 month check-in, because I'm not doing any actual strength training to tone my body, and my nutrition isn't there yet. So I don't expect to actually change from months like probably 1 through 3. But again, by that 6 month mark, I'm hoping for some smaller numbers. But I'm going to check every month just in case. If you want to take some measurements, you'll need a flexible tape measure. These come in sewing kits, and you can almost always find them in the dollar store or the grocery store in the like emergency sewing area with the patches for your pants and safety pins and stuff like that. You can always find them there. You don't want to use a construction tape measure. Even though it has some flexibility, it's not as flexible as you need. So it'll be like squared off version of your measurements instead of actually round. Now this is easier with a helper, and not a kitty helper like my baby, who is currently being good. She's curled up over there on the couch. But someone like, for me, Rolly Mama. She helped me with my measurements. Now you want to make sure that your helper isn't like cutting off your circulation, like trying to get the smallest possible number. And you don't want to be like flexing. Just hold your arm out or like prop your leg up, your foot up on something, a stool or a step, and just let it be this natural around number, okay? So your leg, you can probably do yourself. Some of your lower ones, there's some hard ones. So you can see the list of the ones I did. I did my neck, my bust or chest for guys, and you want to make sure that you're doing it at the biggest point. And if you're wearing a sports bra or whatever, you want to be wearing the same kind of thing each time you do it. You don't want to all of a sudden be like, freedom! Different measurements. Your waist, your hips, that's your biggest part, probably all around. Your thigh, your bicep, and your upper calf, the big old chunky part. So, that's your measurements. Now, energy level and stamina. So, I will be the first to admit that I currently get winded going up 1 flight of stairs too quickly. When I was working at my old job, I had much better stamina because I was more active. I was walking every day to get to work, and I lived on a 3rd floor walk up, in which my bedroom was on the upstairs in my apartment. So I had 4 flights that I was doing regularly. I was using the stairs a lot, and my office was on the 2nd floor at work. So I was staring it up all day, every day, all the time. And I had much better stamina because of that. But I was too stressed out at that job to lose any weight. So when I can walk up 3 flights of stairs without getting instantly winded, I'll know that my stamina is back to where it was a year ago. And then it might even get better, is my hope. So I know that one's a bit low right now. I'm going to get it up. Exercise performance. So this, I think, ties in really closely to stamina and energy level. When I had more stamina, I was also performing better at exercise. So I was walking like 5Ks somewhat regularly. You might have noticed all my 5K shirts. This is, what is this? This is the Camp Patriot one, 5K that I did. And I wasn't running or jogging. I was just walking. But I was able to do it under an hour and a half without dying. Just on a regular day. If I was on a like competition day, I could usually get an hour 10 or so, hour 15. And no dying. At the end, I could like sit there. I wasn't like falling over and like panting to death. I was just like sitting there munching my banana. Yeah, I'm good. I got the leg tinglies, but I'm good. And I even walked a couple of 10Ks. So I had much better stamina and therefore much better exercise performance. So I feel when I'm able to walk a 5K again or up 4 flights of stairs without collapsing, I'll know that my stamina is getting better, back to where it was, and therefore my exercise level has increased. So my goal is to eventually be able to actually run a 5K and then a 10K. So I'll be able to track how that improves. Now with stamina and activity level, it's easy to set personal goals for yourself, and you can break them down into small chunks. In fact, do break them down. Like 1 flight of stairs without being winded, then 2 flights, then 3. walk a 5K, walk a 10K, run a 5K, run a 10K. Set those small goals for yourself. And even smaller, you can go, bike for 5 minutes without having to stop. Bike for 7 minutes without having to stop. Bike for 10, for 12, just without having to stop. As small as you need those goals to be. Set those goals to what you can achieve, and then watch yourself achieve them. So right now, I complete this short workout on this pedaler bike, or I do an easy 30-minute walk, and my thighs are doing that tingly thing I mentioned where you've finished and you're like, oh, I know I worked out. But I'm not collapsing and dying. And I'll know my performance has improved when I can take 45 minutes or an hour before I get those tingles. Okay? So that's what my goal is. So routine. Routine can be a lot of things, like we talked about, sleep routines, bedtime routines, food routine that we're getting to, and there's also your exercise routine. I'm doing this 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I hope you're doing it along with me on the days that work for you. And I'm currently doing the No Zero Day May, walking every day for half an hour. So I'm establishing these routines, and as I keep them up, I'll be able to keep track of my progress. And using a calendar, an app, or an actual physical calendar, or some kind of schedule keeper is great to keep track of this routine and all of your routines and see how you're doing as you improve. So next metric, feeling of control. This, I think, ties more into nutrition and eating, at least for me. When you have that out of control food feeling, which I've had before, I don't really feel like control applies to my workout as much. Feeling in or out of control there. I don't really feel out of control when I'm working out. So since I haven't tackled my nutrition yet, that's coming soon, I don't have that yet. But I didn't want to get overwhelmed by starting everything at once, by saying, okay, now I'm going to exercise and be more active and sleep properly and eat right and be less stressed and every other thing. That's a surefire way to overwhelm me and make sure none of them happen, and that's when I will lose the feeling of control. But by doing it a step at a time, I think it's kept there. It's not overwhelming. It's good. So yeah, in that respect, I'm not feeling overwhelmed. So I would say I am feeling in control. We'll see when it comes to food, how much that stays. Okay, pushing yourself adequately / recovering adequately. These kind of go together, as you are pushing yourself enough to feel it, but you're not pushing yourself so hard that you're dead, like I talked about. And I'd say yes, I'm getting those tingles from working out, but I'm not dead every day. I'm not collapsing for a 2-hour nap. I took one or 2 days at the beginning, day when I had no sleep. Took a walk, needed a small nap after that. But I'm able to do this and then go about my day. So I think I'm pushing myself enough to get the tingles, but I'm not pushing myself so hard that I can't recover. And I'm able to do it the next day. So I'd say I'm right on there. Nutrition status. So again, not focused on this one yet, but I will be getting to it soon, and we'll cover it then. But again, taking before assessments and then tracking it throughout to see my progress. That's in the cards. So we'll cover that one more later. Fit of clothes. So this, I feel, can be a biggie. Both in that it can be really important and also in that people can put too much or too little, the wrong amount of emphasis on it. So, my lowest adult weight. I was pretty comfortably wearing medium tops and size 12 jeans. It might have been 12 wide, but I think they were just 12s. They were definitely 12 shorts. Shorty. I have short little legs. So I am currently in 2 and 3XL tops and 24 wide jeans. which is scary to say out loud for the internet to hear. But again, I'm looking to change that. That's the whole point. So I know that when I can fit back into my 22 wide jeans, and when a 2X shirt is baggy instead of comfortable, I will have made progress. I have these goal clothes that I'm waiting for. But, and this is something that I feel people set themselves up for failure a lot with, I'm not only pulling out my size 12s and my medium shirt and saying, that's my goal clothes, that's what I'm aiming for, because that will take forever. And every day that you don't fit into that specific pair of clothes is another day that you risk feeling like a failure and quitting, even or having a slump or a lapse. So I'm aiming for each next size of jeans and tops. I will throw a party when I hit 2XL and 22 wide jeans, because that is a huge step for me. That's like a year or so in the making. So don't only pull out those clothes from 5 or 8 or 10 or 20 years ago. Set yourself up for success with small increments, okay? One size down at a time is the way you're going to lose 12 sizes. Or at least the way I'm going to lose 12 sizes. But I'm not going to wait until I hit 12 to celebrate and be happy for myself. I'm celebrating when I hit 22 and when I hit a 2X being baggy. Okay? I'm going to celebrate each and every clothing increment. So that's what you should do with your fit of clothes, is that you should not hold out for the big one, but celebrate all the little tiny ones. Again, smaller goals. Celebrate often. So, last one, body fat percentage. This one is the hardest to do at home. In fact, it might be impossible to do at home, fairly certain. You see it on shows like The Biggest Loser, in the later seasons, not the first 1 or 2, maybe 3, first couple. But in the later seasons, definitely. They do the thing where they, like, you lay on the thing and they dip you underwater, and they, like, have you run on the treadmill and you breathe into the hose and all these crazy things, right, that they use to get all those crazy metrics. And that includes body fat percentage. But, like, ain't nobody got time for that. Like, I don't know about you, but my doctor's office doesn't have those things. Like, those are all fancy things. But there is a kind of sort of do-it-at-home-ish way that you can do these. So I found this thing, actually, because they advertised at my old job as part of our wellness initiative. And I found it really helpful. So the company is called Body Comp, and you can go to their storefront, but also they have this big mobile bus, which they take to places. And you can go wherever they take the bus, and it's all tricked out inside with this machine. Oh. So like I said, they came to my work the first time, but they also go regularly to other businesses, gyms, places like that. And you don't have to be an employee or a member of the gym or whatever, because it's out in the parking lot. So you just make your appointment and you pull up and you spend 15 minutes in the bus. So you can go anytime they have an opening, and like I said, it only takes 15 minutes. And part of that is the introduction, making sure your information's correct, and then part of it's the concluding part where they just go over a little bit of stuff. The actual, like, measurements is only like 5-6 minutes, and you do it in just your normal workout clothes. You have to take your shoes off, but that's it, just your normal clothing. So what you do is you lay on this table, and the scanner, it's a DEXA scan, DEXA. And that stands for Dual Energy X-ray Absorptiometry. But you don't have to know that. You just have to know DEXA scan. So you lay on the table, and just like if you've ever had an X-ray done, where the machine, they put it over wherever you're X-raying. It's not like a CAT scan or an MRI where you're all, like, closed inside. You lay on a table, and up here, this big thing just goes and slides down over your body, and it's like this far off of you. It slides over you slowly, and it just takes the images. And then you get this great document emailed to you, and you can get it printed out with your scan and all of these breakdowns about your body composition. hence body comp. And yes, I am going to do the scary thing and share mine with you. So right at the top, it shows your body fat percentage, your mass, which is the sciencey word for your weight, and how much of you is fat tissue or lean tissue. Now, one of the big things was when you think about, oh, you know, muscles weigh more than fat, that kind of thing. Well, this breaks it down for you. So you know how much weight is muscle and how much weight is fat, or lean and fat. So you can see that in March, when I did this in preparation for starting this, I weighed 272.7 pounds that day, which is right about where I started week 1, 2 here. So it's still comparable. And my body fat was at 55.5%. So I was over half of me was just fat and gunk. So I had 151 pounds of fat tissue and 115 pounds of lean tissue, and the rest I assume was bones and junk. So that fat tissue is almost my weight loss goal. My goal for my height and to be comfortable in my body is 150 pounds. Assuming that I don't really have muscles built up. Officially, for my height, I should only be 130 pounds. But I was comfortable at 150. I would have liked to have gotten rid of the last little chub and would have liked to have actually had muscles, but at 150 I was okay. If I can get back to 150, I will be a very happy camper. So from 270 to 150 is 120 pounds to lose. If I'm going for the 130, that would be 140 to lose. So I am currently, basically I have 150 pounds of fat, and I should basically lose all of that, 120 to 140 of that 150. And especially because that's the fat. I should maybe put on some lean tissue, but all of that fat tissue, or most of that fat tissue, I'm sure some is useful, most of that fat tissue should just go away. Oh, and we're in cool down. Yay! So, the other thing it does is give you this picture of your body. So you can see the yellow is fat and gunk, and the orange is lean. So you can see you have a little thin person inside of that big fat shell. And you gotta have something positive. So you can see in the picture that my calves are mostly muscle. That's from all those 5Ks I did. I was walking a lot. And I'm proud of that, darn it. I have fairly muscly good calves. So yeah, again, those 5Ks. My calves are on fire. And you have to be happy about something on your body. And for me, that's my calves. So as you scroll through your breakdown, you can also see where your fat and lean tissues are distributed, like your arms, your legs, your trunk, etc. And you can see how much is android tissue or gynoid fat, and what those ratios are. So like I always, when I tell people, like doctors and stuff, they find out my weight and they go, oh, you don't look it, you're so proportional. There's a reason for that. This ratio says it should be less than 1, and mine is 0.98. So I'm there. I'm in the right ratio range. I'm proportional. So there it is in math, what people say. So there are more things on here, but I covered the important ones. There's ones for like, if you're older and worried about osteoporosis, there's a test for that about your bone density. The guy told me basically you can ignore it for in your 30s and 40s and 50s. You can ignore it. Just look at it later, because it doesn't. You'll be in the right range now. So some of them aren't applicable necessarily.
Activity completed.
Oh, here we go. There we go. And like I said, you can go back every 6 or 12 months and see how you're improving. Don't go every like month or something. That's kind of crazy. And so Body Comp specifically, it's $49 a pop, but you can buy a multi-pack, like a 4-pack for cheaper. And then, like I said, use them at those 6 and 12 month increments. And the only thing is that body comp is specific to Southern California, but there is another company which is called DexaFit. And I don't have personal experience with them because I use body comp instead, but they have generally the same things, and they have locations throughout the US and Canada and I believe Asia. So you can look at them as well and see. And the main thing, though, is to look at either of those sites. And they also have like allergy and food sensitivity testing, DNA testing, metabolic tests, like the one where you're on the treadmill with the breather, all those kinds of things. So you can look at their website and see what kind of tests they offer, so you can get different baselines on yourself. And you can get the names of those. And then if Body Comp or DexaFit isn't in your area, you can still use their site to get the idea and then look and see what other company or location, hospital, whatever, might offer those tests in your area. But they're just really good resources on what those metrics are and what those tests are called, like the DEXA. So know that. So, in conclusion, there are a lot of ways to track your progress, not just weigh-ins. You can check out all of them on our list and make a plan for how to track the metrics that are important to you. I will be checking in on mine periodically at different times. Like I said, I weigh in once a week. I'm going to check my measurements once a month. I'm going to check my DEXA probably every 6 months to a year. And I'm going to be tracking the other ones in different ways, tracking my routines with different apps, all those kinds of things. So figure out what you want to track and how you're going to track it, and then start tracking it. Get those befores. So this has been Roly Poly Weight Loss. As always, I am your host, Roly Poly. Remember that weight isn't the only metric. So you can use the hashtags progress, measurements, and before together. Remember our hashtag before together for your starters. And then as you go, you can use progress and measurements to share your different metrics. And please join me next time.